Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode 62 of the Nearly Men Video Games Podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday the 30th of April 2020. I am Paul Kaczynski and joining me today is Colin Little. And Gary Hogg-Simmons.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Nothing to do with the video games industry. We do not make them, we do not sell them, and we're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you've probably kicked our asses online. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Better late than never.
I know what time to call this. What time to call this?
Unbelievable. Paolo, you have one job. It may encompass many jobs, but technically you've got one job and you're head of technical. This is a disaster.
Just so you know, it was an absolute disaster. My computer just about blew up on me. But we're here and we're live. We're still here. Hello to everyone watching on Twitch. And hello to
everybody.
everyone who's listening in the future. How are we, gentlemen? Are we well?
Yeah,
All good, yeah.
all good here.
Good. What you been doing? You been out of the house at all or anything?
No, not so much, no. A bit of a
Surprisingly,
staycation.
no.
Oh, on the bus, I forgot to put my jacket on. See, that's what happens when you're rushing about. There we go.
You're looking a wee bit more dishevelled than usual, Paolo. Has it been a stressful half an hour or so?
I don't think I've stopped since 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh my.
Well, it's nice to see you both anyway. We've been seeing a lot of each other actually, haven't we?
Too
We certainly
much.
have.
I mean, what?
We've been playing lots of games together, doing lots of streams and whatnot here on the Nearly Men channel. You can subscribe. If you subscribe, then you become an automatic executive producer of the podcast. And just like Colin_NM, Mr. Producer. John O'Rock's 21, he was producer. Paul Kaczynski, Josser
Mr.
1978,
Mr.
Joe
Producer.
Bryus, Diet
Mr.
Punk,
Producer.
Nat
Mr.
Pacino, and
Lady
Gavin
Pacino
Laugh.
producer. Mr.
Gavin
Producer.
Laugh, who's just turned up in the chat as well. Hello, Gavin. How you doing? These people that have subscribed to the channel, so that means they actually pay money. It did just dawn on me that we've got a slightly different audience on Twitch than your average Twitch viewers, and they might not know that subscribing is different from following. So if you're following, click that wee heart. That's great. It's absolutely brilliant. If you're feeling generous, you can subscribe as well, and that's where you give us money, a monthly fee, and it helps support the channel and helps us keep going and get better and better and better. You can subscribe with Twitch Prime. If you link your Amazon Prime and your Twitch account, it gives you one subscription for free, and you can keep renewing that every 30 days. But thank you so much to these people who subscribed to us, and what a great start, boys, to the Nearly Man channel we've had.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
It's been
brilliant.
so good. And you know, we do streams, we do all sorts of things, but this is the podcast, and what keeps this podcast alive is interaction with everybody, so we love you getting in touch, and if you want to do so, here's how you can do it.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Gary at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Yes, indeed. What are you waiting for? Indeed. Right, I think, there's so much news, boys, that I dare say we just don't mess about and just get right into it, shall we?
Let's get fired in.
Right, okay, so here's news story number 1. It's Sony's delayed Last of Us 2 is now set for a June release after story leaks. This is from BBC News. The release date for one of the most anticipated games of the year, The Last of Us 2, has been brought forward after story spoilers appeared online. Video footage of the sequel that contained major plot details emerged online at the weekend. The game had repeatedly been delayed, with the last delay pushing out an unspecified date later this year. But after the story details leaked, Sony PlayStation announced the game would be released on 19th of June. The Last of Us 2 is the sequel to 2013's PlayStation exclusive, in which a smuggler and young girl make their way through a post-apocalyptic United States hit by devastating infection. Despite the planned
Awkward.
release date coinciding with the current real-life pandemic, Sony has said the indefinite delay was down to logistic issues caused by COVID-19, not concerns about its content. The original game won hundreds of awards for its storytelling, art and direction. Sony-owned studio Naughty Dog said it was disappointing to see the spoilers and promised the game will be in your hands soon. Gentlemen, first of all, did we manage to avoid spoilers?
Yes.
I avoided spoilers until it came to writing up this section of the script.
Oh no.
Hold on. That would suggest that you're doing some sort of research, Colin Little.
I was. Well, someone had to do it. I decided to be the brave one and venture into the murky waters of the internet and try safely to navigate Last of Us spoilers. I didn't find much, to be honest. I did find a couple of things in the in headlines. In headlines, there's a ridiculous bit where someone mentioned something in a headline, and technically they probably didn't think it was a spoiler, but at the same time it definitely was. There's a bit to take this off on a tangent. There's a bit in The Big Bang Theory where someone tells Sheldon that the comic book's going to blow his mind, and he calls it a spoiler because once his mind's already been blown, it can't be reblown. And this thing addressed something in the book and used an adjective to describe it, and just because of that, it told me more than I wanted to know about the sort of arc of the story or something, you know. So that was disappointing, and there's a couple of things about a particular character in the game which is already put a bit, but you know, we do a video games podcast. This happens to us sometimes. If you're having to do the news, then you have to sometimes end up coming across some of this stuff. I'm still mostly intact. I'm still looking forward to the game, but there's no doubt this is a disaster for Naughty Dog.
It's heartbreaking as the guy says. I think it was Neil Druckmann that said he's heartbroken. Because it must be gutting if you're working on it so much, and you know, the Last of Us is going to have shot gas pourer moments in it, and if they're getting out, then that's kind of.
I'm sure they're still going to be there. The issue is the leak had a couple of key video sequences in it, and I believe it also included a level list or a sort of layout of chapters. Yeah. So it kind of told you where they're going to go, how the story progresses. The video sequences all came out of sequence and things like that, as far as I'm aware, but there are key moments, and the problem is that certain things will happen in characters and they might not make a lot of sense to people right now, but the second that they start playing the game and they meet somebody, then things might come rushing. It's a real bummer. I know there's all sorts of speculation as to why this has been leaked. There's rumours and allegations that it might be a disgruntled employee or something like that, or a hacker with an axe to grind. It might be to do with the way Naughty Dog are treating their staff during crunch. They're forcing people. Well, allegedly, this is entirely allegations and stuff on the internet and hearsay. But it's not the only company that's been accused of this. No, Rockstar's been accused of it in the past, and various other companies. It's a big topic in video games, crunch, and the sort of way that people aren't being paid a lot of money and being forced to go through the ringer, put hours and hours and hours in. Now, a lot of folk on the internet are now, I mean, it's ludicrous trying to find any sense from people on the internet, but a lot of people are trying to sort of say that this is some sort of crusader. We don't really know. What we know is that this is a terrible thing that's happened because, maybe there was lines overstepped, possibly, we don't know, but people still put their heart and soul into this for many, many years, and gamers have been waiting for it for a very long time as well. So it's a real shame. But I do hope that there might be some good to come out of it, and maybe crunch things like this. I mean, if somebody like Naughty Dog can be dealing with issues like this, and whether or not that is to blame or not, I think it's going to open the conversation more about it as well. But it's just a really kind of unfortunate situation.
Yeah. Gary, I know that you're pretty much going blackout on Last of Us 2, aren't you?
Yeah.
So have you managed to avoid it anyway, or because I know you're a man who likes to get up on these video games, and you've not stumbled across anything?
No, because I tend not to search for games like when they're coming out or coming close. So I saw the leak because a page I follow on Facebook reported it, but like a news page, and it was just not Last of Us 2 plot leaked. I never clicked the link. I never clicked the comments.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew. So that's that. And then I'd heard the same as Colin. How did I hear that? I must have been in a chat on Discord or something for a streamer. And they're talking about, oh, I've heard it's because of this, I've heard it's because of that. And you're kind of seeing people trying to argue, was it right, was it not right to do? And then there's a whole thing of people saying, well, if people don't want the story spoiled, you shouldn't have clicked the link. And you're like, it's not as easy as that. Anywhere you go. Like, I was in the comment section of something unrelated to a video game. Actually, it was Resident Evil 3. And there was a spoiler and a comment, and I was like, why is this here? And something that's not even to do with this game. And I was like, geez, because people are vindictive and people are daft in the world. So it's...
There's people actually embedding spoilers into the replies to Neil Druckmann's tweet where he says it's heartbreaking. I mean,
oh man,
I mean, it's horrendous. It really
that
is.
Sums up the world, doesn't it? You were saying there was spoilers and headlines and all that as well, Colin. I mean, that's just
the headlines are a wee bit more, but I mean, there's actual articles. There's genuine articles from newspapers and things like that, which are basically saying, here's all the spoilers for The Last of Us in this article. Now they're not quite putting them, but they're actually listing them as news as well. It's shocking.
Do you know what's bad for it as well? YouTube. So Kevin, friend of the podcast, Kevin, he's had numerous games spoiled because he's been on YouTube and a video autoplays, and it's like top 5 moments of this new game that's just out that no one's got there, and he's like,
oh, that's hellish.
And I'm always saying to Kevin, the week before a game's coming out, do not sit on YouTube. And he's like, oh, but I've nothing else to do. I might find something else to do. And people jumping into Twitch streams and posting the spoilers and the chat, and you can see that the person's playing the game, so they're relying on their moderators to pick it up quickly. And there was one time a mod never picked it up quick enough, and the streamer was going off his nut because he's like, I don't want my audience having something spoiled and then having a bad taste in their mouth because it's in my stream which is spoiled. So, and it's always it's never the people who did it who get blamed, it's everyone else who's the impact. It sucks.
Yeah, and there's the theory as well that it's the reason the delay was there in the first place was because they wanted physical sales.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now that they're forced their hand, and they're not going to get the physical sales. But I don't think it's going to harm them in the slightest.
No,
I just hope to God Sony's got their PSN store sorted, because the downloads are going to be insane that weekend.
Surely you'll be able to preload. Aye. Surely.
Final Fantasy 7, you could preload. They brought the preload forward by 4 days because
they'll probably have to do it about a week.
Preload speed. Final Fantasy 7's bigger than Last of Us 2, I'd say.
Yeah,
they're estimating The Last of Us 2 is going to be 100 gig.
Final Fantasy 7 was 100 gig.
Yeah. So we're talking the same size, but I think there's a good chance that there'll be, if not comparable, I think there might even be more sales of The Last of Us.
Final Fantasy 7 is a 2-disc game. Oh, no, I'd argue with that, Colin.
Well, I mean, I'm just speculating. I think Final Fantasy was huge, but I think The Last of Us is probably... Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll need to wait and see. I think you're going to be comparable. I don't think there's going to be an awful lot in it.
Oh, no, it'll be a fight to the death between them both, I think.
Yeah. Well, the good news about it is that it's now got a release date and it is coming out, and we're going to get to play it this year.
Just in time for summer. Woo.
Yeah. I'd kind of given up a wee bit on playing it this year. I thought, that's it. It's going to be next year before this comes out. But even better news is now that both Naughty Dog's and Sucker Punch's productions PS4 titles will be launched this summer. Yeah, baby. So this is from Herman Hulst, head of the Worldwide Studios, on the PlayStation blog, and he says, as our teams at Sony Interactive Entertainment and Worldwide Studios approach development milestones and confront a world changed by COVID-19, we find ourselves having to adapt to today's ever-changing environment. Amid some disruptions to our working styles, we wanted to provide an update to PlayStation gamers who are eager to learn when our next exclusive titles will arrive on PlayStation 4. As we begin to ease in the global distribution environment, I am pleased to confirm that The Last of Us Part 2 will arrive on June 19th. Huzzah!
Yay!
And Ghosts of Tsushima will follow on July 17th. Huzzah! A month to play Last of Us 2.
Madness.
I want to personally congratulate and thank this is Herman Hulse, not me. I want to personally congratulate and thank both the teams at Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch Productions on their achievements, as we know it's not an easy feat to reach a finish line under these circumstances. Both teams have worked hard to deliver world-class experiences, and we can't wait to see what you think of them when they release in just a few months. And finally, I want to thank the PlayStation community for their continuous support and patience. So that's good news.
Yep.
We kind of knew Ghost of Tsushima was coming in July, didn't we? That was well, it was summer, wasn't it, or something?
Yes, I think yeah. I was sort of speculating, but I'm pretty sure we did get and we did get that delayed. We did get that date, didn't we? July 17th.
I'm sure a few weeks back. Yeah. We got something.
So
that's exciting.
That's going to be an expensive month. It's going to be an expensive month, you know.
But see, the dangerous thing is I don't want to pick up The Last of Us on launch day and then play through it super fast. I want to take my time and just enjoy it, and I don't want to feel I have to finish it before I then start Ghost of Tsushima. Do you know what I mean?
I think, given the nature of spoilers and all that, and the fact you've got a month to play with, I think if you don't play it within that month, Paolo, I think you're going to really run the risk of it being spoiled for you.
Oh, see, but that's the modern world, isn't it?
Take you to finish a game.
I know.
Come on.
For a single
going to be
player
a month-long
experience.
game, Paolo.
It's me, you know that.
You think 130 minutes a night for a month?
So, well, let's just have a wee comparison, right? So, how quickly did you complete Resident Evil 3, Gary?
Like 8 hours.
8 hours. So I'm still playing it. I'm not even halfway through. I'm a slow gamer. What can I say, man?
Gary's completed it like 7 times.
Aye, all right.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
So yeah, so that's good news. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to say on that other than bring on June and July.
No, I can't wait. I mean, talk about Sony bringing out two big heavyweights a month apart now. It's going to be a hell of a summer, and with Cyberpunk not far off as well, it could be a real crazy few months.
And more, as we'll find out soon.
Yes.
But on to another story, I think this was discovered by you, Colin Little.
Yes.
Was the UK games industry unites to fight COVID-19 and say thank you to our NHS heroes. And this is from a press release from Games for Carers. It says, the UK games industry has launched a major initiative, Games for Carers, to thank our frontline NHS heroes for their inspirational work during the crisis. Over the past 3 weeks, the games industry has united to include governments, stay home, save lives, messaging with highly popular video games, as well as speaking directly to players across the country through social media. Now, Games for Carers has been launched to provide frontline staff with a free game or game subscription to unwind with, either for when they get some well-earned downtime or to provide relief for their families. NHS staff will be able to claim their free game or subscription quickly and securely by visiting the dedicated Games for Carers site from 9 AM on Wednesday 29th of April at giveaways.keymailer.co/NHS and entering their NHS email address. More than 85,000 free games across a wide range of genres, age ratings and platforms will be available to download. Games for Carers is being publicly backed by major game companies such as EA, Codemasters, Konami, Jagex, is that right? Jagex? Sega, Media Molecule, Xbox and Team 17, as well as independent studios such as Studio Zom, SFB Games, Wired Productions, Bossa Studio and Dovetail Games. And I don't know if this was added in by you, Colin, or whether it's part of the press release.
No, this was added in by me.
Was that you? Yeah, he says that this whole thing was started with an idea from Scottish Games journalist Chris Scullion before being brought to fruition by UKIE and Keymailer. Well done, everyone involved.
Absolutely. Wow. I spoke to Chris Scullion on Twitter about it the other day. Basically, about a month or so ago, he sort of came up with this idea about how he, he's like, I want to see how I can get some free games for NHS staff. He was at pains to tell me that UKIE and Keymailer did all the hard work on this, but it just goes to show, Chris had this idea and it made there, and he possibly had a reach that was somewhat limited compared to what UKIE and Keymailer were able to then do, but they took his idea and ran with it, and it's a wonderful thing. I think Chris Scullion should be very proud. I think Scottish Games should be very proud of Chris Scullion, and they should all be very proud. It's a really great thing, so very well done. Check out Chris Scullion's website. It's called Tired Old Hack. He does a number of books online. He does the NES Encyclopedia. He's in the middle of doing a SNES Encyclopedia that you can buy. And I think he's doing a Mega Drive one or a Genesis one next. Writes a lot of stuff. He used to work for Official Nintendo magazine. Now he does the freelance stuff. Check out Tired Old Hack. Very well done, Chris Scullion.
Very good. It's a great idea. And just another way to say thank you to everybody in the front line and all that jazz.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well spotted, Colin. Well spotted. Do you know, I'm going to pass over to you for this story, Colin Little, because I feel you're a resident correspondent in this field. This is for the worst kept secret in video game history, in that Assassin's Creed, the next Assassin's Creed, is going to be Vikings.
It is going to be Vikings. The other night, basically... Oh, look, we've got a little bit of it. So
so nice.
The other night, Ubisoft basically teased with an 8-hour live stream of Boss Logic doing the most incredible Photoshop stuff I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if you caught any of this, Paolo.
No, not at all.
So it's an 8-hour live stream of Boss Logic making the first artwork of the game, and it gave you the scene. Nobody knew anything. Everyone was speculating that it was going to be Vikings, but nobody knew, and it brought the art style and everything and the sort of character design all together. It is incredible to watch. I was watching, it was like absolute wizardry, and then they announced that the trailer would be next week. They gave a title and the trailer. It is, of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And as you can see, it's set in the 9th century. You will play as a Viking warrior called Ivor, I think it is, Eivor, and you basically heading to 9th century England to pillage. Basically, the trailer itself, as you can see, is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my days!
I believe that's probably, I don't know for definite, but I'm assuming that's Alfred the Great that's putting out the wee candle and all that. And it's so cinematic. It's absolutely brutal. And it's going to be an open world, 9th century England. You're playing as a Viking warrior. And I think it's going to build on all the sort of stuff you saw in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which, funnily enough, for some reason just didn't work with me. I don't know why. It just didn't work with me. I think the major problem was I picked Alexios instead of Cassandra, and I regret this to this day because everyone insists Cassandra's the more interesting character to play. I was a bit concerned because this trailer focuses on the male Ivor, and I thought, that might not be great if they've taken a backward step. However, I saw Ubisoft have unveiled a collector's edition that includes a statue, and I looked at it and I said that protagonist looks a wee bit different, and I zoomed in and it's a shield maiden and it's a female Ivor, so Ivor can be male or female. So I'm delighted. Brilliant. I'm delighted about that. That's a great thing. Anybody that watches the TV show Vikings, I love Vikings. It's a really good show, and it's pretty clear to see that whoever decided on this game's watched a hell of a lot of Vikings, because there's points where it's almost beat for beat, but I love that. I love that feel of it. And of course, Vikings were famous for having these famous female warriors, the shield maidens. So it would have been a really strange step to have not included the possibility of a female warrior. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if the world really needed another Assassin's Creed, but the second I saw this trailer, I thought, yes, I'm okay with this. This looks good.
It's so hard not to watch when it's up on the screen here. I'm trying to pry myself away from it.
There's such a brilliant reveal just at the end of this fight, because the whole way through it doesn't really look like an Assassin's Creed game at all, and then there's just that little sting right at the end.
And there it is.
And when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in.
I'm trying. I'm trying not to get too excited about it because it's just a cinematic You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's no gameplay. Imagine it was. Oh, but it's beautifully done. It looks tonally, as you say, it looks bang on, and
Yeah.
this has got me hooked right back in. You know, I'm not huge in ancient Egypt. I'm not huge in ancient Greek. But you know, Vikings, yeah, I'll take that.
It just looks really cool. It's going to be on PS4 and PS5, and funnily enough, Ubisoft have obviously done a bit of a deal with Xbox because it's the Xbox logo that comes up at the start of the trailer, so they'll probably have timed or exclusive sort of something or other that'll come with it. But it's going to be current gen and next gen as well. So that's somewhat setting alarm bells ringing. Because you know we've seen that before. You're like, oh, you get the good version and the not so good version, or maybe you don't. You know.
Yeah. But remember, the jump between PS4 and PS5 is going to be so small compared to your PS3 and PS4.
Well, yeah,
they're going to be a lot closer together, and it will just be a case of better lighting. Well, PS5, you know, it might be better sound. That's the first thing I thought of. See, when in fact, it's just coming up now in the trailer when they kind of dock the land at Britain, and the fire arrows shoot out. Yeah. The first thing that I thought of was that the sound thing on the PS5.
The noise of those fire arrows flying around you.
Every single arrow is making its own individual sound.
It's going to be quite something, isn't it? So yeah, a franchise that lost its way for a long time. I felt Assassin's Creed Origins was an excellent game, and then Odyssey, despite the fact for some reason it just left me cold. Everybody raves about it, absolutely raves about it. And I can see why, because actually when you play bits of it, it really is good. But it just overwhelmed me a wee bit, Odyssey. I think it was too big, because the whole of Greece, I think this one will be a lot more, because it's England, as opposed to Greece and all the islands and stuff, I think it will feel a bit more, I mean, I'm sure the map will still be enormous, but I think it might not be quite as overwhelming as Odyssey was. But maybe it will be, and I won't mind, because it'll be Vikings, you know?
It just looks absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I restarted there by accident, but yeah, I mean, it's stunning. Are you a big Assassin's Creed fan, Gary?
I was, and I've not been for a while, and this does not interest me in the slightest.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Because it's not Assassin's Creed. A Wristblade at the end does not Assassin's Creed make, and it's the same way. I tried Origins, Odyssey, I didn't even bother with, and you know I love ancient Greece and ancient Egypt, and I love Norse mythology. They're being sneaky. They are basically starting new IPs and don't want to be have crap sales, so they're sitting in a Wristblade, try to tie it in with the Assassin's Creed mythos, but none of it makes sense. As soon as they finished the original storyline, which in itself was getting a bit ridiculous, it's just get further and further away from what made Assassin's Creed, to the point where I'm like, this everything's it's. I think, see, if it was just a Vikings game, I'd be like, yes, let me smash the crap out of you. But they're going to try and work in Apples at Edens or the Ancient Civ or whatever new direction the story was going, because I gave up on that. And this whole as well, here's a link to the past where you could have been a male or a female, who knows? No, just give us a new IP if you want to do that. We lost Prince of Persia for Assassin's Creed, and that was a great game series, and then Assassin's Creed was great, and now it's just, we want to be the hip new thing, we're going to tack Assassin's Creed on it, and you're going to like it, and I'm not liking it, I don't want to like it, go away.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I've not played, Odyssey. I've not played Odyssey. I did play Origins, and you know, I'd be with you on that, Gary. Up until it started to become a kind of Assassin's Creed thing, and I think because it happened so late in the game, I was a bit like, this is just a new game with very little assassin thing in it. But then when they started to pepper in Assassin's Creed points,
that's what I'm like. You've done all the building up and the peppering, like you just started with Altair, and then you went to Ezio, and then Ezio was great because Ezio had the arc, and you were an assassin. But
The
it's
issue is,
just
though,
they're retreading no ground that then doesn't connect with the original story they made. It's just you can see them scraping the bits and trying to make it work, and hardcore fans are going, that doesn't make sense. Again, Kevin loves Assassin's Creed more than me. He knows the mythos more than me, and he's like, this doesn't make any sense. And I think I'm just watching them do it, and I'm like, oh, here we go again.
well, I have to say, I mean, I personally think, first of all, Origins takes place long before any of the Assassin's Creed, so it literally starts. It's about the
But
birth
it
of the.
doesn't make sense when you compare it to. It's when people go back and rewrite their history, and I hate it because I'm like, punch in the face.
I don't. I have to say, I'm all in on this. Every Assassin's Creed game, I lost all interest the second it came out of the history. See, the second that you came out of the Animus, all that Abstergo stuff, I absolutely hated it. I thought it was boring as hell. And every time the and out came Desmond Miles again, I was just like, oh, God's sake, here we go. I'm going to have to sneak about an office for another 20 minutes before I'm going to do something fun again. Hated it. All that stuff, get it away. Just, Assassin's Creed's about exploring historical worlds. Give us it. That's why I loved Black Flag so much, because actually there's hardly any out of the Animus stuff.
But it's not. The story of Assassin's Creed is unearthing the ancient civilization and the impact in the world. That's where the story was meant to be going. And because people like the ancient civilization, which I did, I loved jumping around Rome and all the Italian cities and stuff. But it's just, either get rid of that and just do historical games where you go around stabbing people in the face, drop the Assassin's Creed part to it. It's just this horrible try to mishmash things together where I'm like, what? Just start a new IP. Don't be lazy and try and cash in on an existing brand. That's what it feels like. It just feels like they're cashing in because they know people will buy it because of the name Assassin's Creed.
But then, is it maybe more a soft reboot than cashing in? Because as you said, they went so far with it that it went over the top and completely beyond realism. And rather than going, right, well, we're just going to continue that. To me, it seems like a wee bit of we're going to go way back to the start and kind of do a new game, almost like a new IP, and then we're going to pepper in Assassin's Creed into it and start a new line.
I know what you're saying. It's a bad taste. Just do a new IP. They're just not brave enough to do it, and they should have faith in their game. And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, Paolo, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's a reboot. It's a reboot with a famous name. The problem is that you know, we looked at the potential of the fact that Naughty Dog were potentially holding off because they were possibly allegedly concerned about not being able to make physical sales. You need to sell video games, and putting Assassin's Creed on it, even if it is a bit cynical, it sells games. But yeah, I think
that shows a lack of faith in their game making or their game storytelling ability.
It is Ubisoft, come on.
Yeah, well, exactly. Coincidentally, apparently eight different Ubisoft developer or Ubisoft offices worked on this. Different teams from all around. 8 different teams.
Is that not
absolutely mental?
Is that not usually the case with Assassin's Creed though? They try to make it really multicultural.
There was apparently seven of them that worked on the previous one, but funnily enough, I saw an article earlier on, I can't quite remember, where they were talking about the fact that the Assassin's Creed Odyssey had 7 teams, this one's got 8, and apparently the Assassin's Creed Odyssey ending credits last for 30 minutes, so he's already wondering how long the credits on this one are going to last. It's insane, isn't it?
Anyway, listen, lots happening, and when is it out? Do you know, Colin?
It's out holidays 2020. That's all they're saying at the moment. But I'm assuming it'll be a launch title. I know it'll be a launch title, I guess, for PS5 and Xbox Series X. Coincidentally, in the chat, I just see a few things. Wee Maverick says, "Surely Scotland features. I have Viking blood. I reckon."
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I dare say it's possible, especially if the map's anywhere near as big as Odyssey is. And Gavin a laugh, Mr. Producer, he says, I'm siding with Gary that it doesn't at first feel like an AC game, but it still sounds like fun. It still sounds like it would be good. I think it'll be great. I do. I think it will be great. The Assassin's Creeds have been getting better and better. And yeah, the very thing that potentially turns Gary off from it. Actually, do you know what? They can call it Assassin's Creed all they want. See if they take as much of that Apple Eden stuff and just fling it out and just give me Viking stuff, the better. The better. I don't mind what title they slap on it as long as it's good and it looks. I mean, again, this is only a cinematic. I mean, but so we'll see. But yeah, on paper, it's ticking a lot of boxes for me.
It's a good entrance for them anyway to go, hey, look what's next.
Also, folk have been screaming about Vikings for so long. They know people want Vikings. They're going to give them Vikings, you know?
Listen, For Honor was a great game.
It was a great game with Axe as well.
Yeah.
Norse mythology. It's
Yep, absolutely.
jumping on the trend again.
Look at put Gary on Rage Cam here. There we go.
Get on Rage Cam, absolutely. Come on, Gary, just rage. Just rage, Gary. Just rage.
Well, excellent. I'm definitely looking forward to that one, and we'll find out later in the year. What a year! What a year for video games, guys! What a year!
I mean, you could actually just take that for video games out and just go, "What a year!"
What?
I mean, Christ Almighty, what a year!
But it's as if Mother Nature knew that all these great games were coming out, and they went, right, how can we get people to be home more?
But Mother Nature missed out on the fact that people need to still be able to pay for these games, and somehow wiped out everyone's economies.
There's the rub. Right, I'm going to pass over to Colin again. You're doing a lot of talking, Colin. I feel like Gary's not had a word.
I know.
To do some
that's because he's
freebies.
just fizzing. He's just fizzing with rage.
Aye, buzzing with rage. Give us some freebies, Colin Little.
Okay, freebies. So first up, we'll start off on the Microsoft side of town with the games with gold. So from the 1st of April to the 30th of April, you're going to have to be very quick for this one. We've got Project Cars 2, that's the Xbox One driving game. From the 16th of April to the 30th of April, got to be quick for this one, that's Toy Box Turbos. And from the 16th of April to the 15th of May, got a little bit longer than this one, that's Knights of Pen and Paper bundle and RPG, that's also Xbox One. Then the May games have also been out. We're straddling right on the 2 months here. So from the 1st of May, we've got V Rally 4, another racing game. They're really piling out the racing games at the moment. That's for Xbox One. We've got 1st of May to 15th of May. We've got Sensible World of Soccer.
Yes!
How we love that. That's on Xbox One and it's 360 backwards compatible. From the 16th of May to the 31st of May, we've got Overlord 2 action RPG. That's also backwards compatible, Xbox One 360. And from the 16th of May to the 15th of June, I can't believe we're talking about June already. They've got Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. That is a lot of words. That's also an action RPG, and that's for Xbox One. Those all sound quite exciting. We've got nice adrenaline pumping driving games. We've got some action RPGs. We've got some Sensei Soccer.
Sensei Soccer.
Quite exciting over there on Microsoft's side of town. Let's see how exciting it is on Sony's side of town. Well,
what have we got there, Colin?
Well, what have we got? By the way, you want to see the absolute horror in the replies of things online, check out Sony's replies at the moment. They have brought Cities Skyline, right? Sim City game, built a city building game. Looks pretty good. That's PS4. That's for me. They've decided to couple that rather sedate experience, nice calming, with Farming Simulator 19.
Oh my!
Now, this is not in any way to disparage either of these games. These games are both very good games. I know folk absolutely love Farming Simulator. I love Sim City and that sort of game. I love city builders. I just think the idea of putting these two games together at the same time is a really strange choice. Really strange choice.
But then maybe it's just coming back to that whole thing of, you know, the world's a troublesome time at the moment, you know, Animal Crossing selling millions, something a bit nice and calm and just sink hours into.
Absolutely, and either one of those games would be fine for that. I just don't think, because there are people who also will want an escape from sitting around quietly not doing stuff, and they will want something exciting. It just seems a strange choice. I wouldn't argue that either of these games should be PS Plus. I just think they could have potentially staggered them. They could have done one of them 1 month and the next one next month, and that way you've got a bit of something for everyone. It feels like
fair play.
You know, it feels like you've gone to a restaurant, and I don't know. They've got chicken for you, and then the other option's also chicken. And that's it.
What about? Hey, I like chicken.
Yes, exactly. But when a vegetarian turns up, they're not going to be particularly pleased, are they?
Well, they can go elsewhere.
So, a bit of a strange one, that. A bit of a strange one.
What I love though is that people are online saying things like, oh come on, we should have got Death Stranding this month. Stuff like that.
I mean, that's ludicrous. That's
Yes, a
absolutely
5-month-old game.
I seriously thought that it was going to be Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto's just come off Game Pass. And I thought, I wonder if that's because Sony have upped their money and gave it out.
Well, I put it this way, right? There's no chance that they're going to put a big game on in June, because The Last of Us is coming. I don't think they're going to bother with a big game in June. Or July, because Ghost of Tsushima's coming. So it seems strange why they didn't put something. Like, I don't know if it would have been GTA, but I don't know what they would have done. Maybe I'm looking cynical here. Maybe these are quite small games to download, and they're thinking, this will give our bandwidth. If we put some unappetizing games on, unappealing looking games, then nobody will download them, and our servers will get a bit of a rest.
Well, that's Diet Punk in the chat saying he literally saw people complaining about PS Plus games on the Reddit forum choosing beggars.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say again, this is not. It's just a bit of a strange one, and we know what video game fans are like. Gamers are a nightmare at the best of times, and it just feels like a bit of an own goal from Sony here. By all means, one of these games and something else would have been quite good. I think just putting essentially two sim games on at the same time is a bit of a strange choice. But I might be wrong. I might well be wrong, as Diet Punk says. It's not that. That beggars can't be choosers. I said they're free games, essentially.
They cannot be choosers, my man. They cannot be choosers.
Everyone will be screaming at me. They're not free. You pay a subscription. They're not.
Also, you go, man.
I'll get them out. There are some more games, of course, still in the PS4 till the 5th of May. Still got a little bit of time on this for the play at home thing. The Nathan Drake collection is there, so that is 3 action games that are still there. Although long-time PS Plus users will probably already have it, and Journey is still there as well. I really love Journey. It's there as well, so be sure to get them if you haven't already got them. Grab them before the 5th of May. They're there, and also, I didn't know this, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2.
Yeah, baby.
Is available until the 10th of May. That is to commemorate Pac-Man's anniversary, isn't it?
That's
You're
right.
going to say birthday?
350 he is. 350.
350. I don't think that's true, Paulo.
Yeah, he's 350 years old.
Right. I see you've got a lovely Pac-Man colour behind you.
What was it, Diet Punk referred to that colour, that kind of vomit yellow?
Vomit yellow, yeah. Coincidentally, that will make a lot of sense to people listening to the podcast. Apologies.
That's true.
Moving on to Xbox. Pac-Man Championship Edition is also free until 10th of May on Xbox, and they've got free play days. Recently, there's been Madden 20, there's been Elder Scrolls Online, there's been F1 2019, and Tekken 7.
Basically what that is
delighted about that.
It's every weekend they give you at least 2 games to play for the weekend, and you can try them out, and then obviously buy them at the end if you like it, but it's different every weekend, so it's quite good.
And of course, a game I would have loved to play if my laptop could cope with it, Total War Shogun 2. I love the Total War games. That's available till 1st of May, so you've not got long, but that's available for free to download on PC.
I jumped on Steam and just added it to the library today.
Yeah, you did.
Just in case. You never know. You never know when I might have a spare 50 hours.
Well, exactly. 50 hours. I mean, 50 hours, you could probably get through like a third of The Last of Us 2 in that time.
Oh, you cheeky swine. See, I have to put up with this. This is outrageous. Diet Punk says it's like mustard, my colour. About 12 hours after you've eaten it.
It's like not like Dijon mustard or something. It's like that, like American sort of like hot dog mustard. It's that like super like
the cheap mustard.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Anyway, thank you for those freebies, Colin Little. That's very kind of you. We've been playing lots of games, gentlemen. I mean, Gary's list is simply I
Insane.
needed a separate document for that. You can tell he's not at school.
When I looked at his list, I just shook my head. I was like, "Come on, you! Come
I've
on, you!"
also played the two at the top as well.
Indeed,
Indeed.
yes. Yeah. Oh, did you manage to play? Right, okay, well,
Yes.
let's go one by one here. One that came out last Friday was a big one for us. We were looking forward to it. It is, of course, Predator Hunting Grounds. And we have played a shed load of it, haven't we, boys?
We have indeed.
Tons.
Very kindly, Elphonic and Sony sent us over a couple of codes, or a few codes, which means we got to play it.
We all got codes.
And we hooked up with a couple of people online. In fact, a couple of producers, John Rocks 21, Diet Punk, and of course Gavin Alaff as well.
Mr. Producer.
Yeah.
Mr. Producer.
All the producers. And we've played a lot of it. We played it on launch day. Colin, you streamed it the day after as well.
Yeah.
And then I streamed it as part of my night on Monday. And you guys, I know, Colin, you've been playing a wee bit of it as well, offline. Not offline, but off stream, I suppose.
Yeah.
You've been playing with strangers?
I know.
A little bit,
For shame, for shame.
It's not the same experience.
It has been plagued with problems. It's not getting a very good write-up. I'm going to go on record and say I really enjoy it. I think it's great fun. I know it's not perfect, but when you hook up with people you know and it's just you in a private game, I think the game's a lot of fun. Real lot of fun.
I was asked, someone contacted me through the PlayStation messages the other day asking me opinions on it, a friend of mine, and I said to him, well, it really depends on whether you've got a group of folk that you want to regularly play with or not. I'm not convinced there's going to be a lot of fun playing it on quick play with randoms. I think sometimes you might get a good game, the rest of the time you won't. Whereas, getting a private chat, private group, in a private match and just cycle through again and again, you can have so much fun. I loved it. There was some problems. It has been played with problems, but Twitch has been played with problems. Discord's been played with problems. There's all sorts of technical issues at the moment.
I think the main issue, though, is the fact that these are problems that Elphonic had with Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's the same problems again. It's that people can't get a game. The main problem at the moment is that everybody wants to be the Predator. That's the most fun. So the lobbies, everybody's trying to be the Predator, and you're waiting like 15 minutes for a game, as opposed to 3 if you go for a Marine or whatever. But it just means that the lobbies are empty, so people are waiting for games now. I don't think it's working every time you're getting connected, and there's the usual.
You probably find people are quitting out as well when they don't get to be Predator.
There's a lot of cross-play issues. For a personal point, my brother got it on PC and we were looking to hook up, and there's just no way to invite into a private party. You can come across each other possibly in a lobby, but there's no way to invite at the moment. There's no way to invite, and the annoying thing is the annoying thing is they're not addressing it. They're not acknowledging the fact that that's not there, even though they made a big deal of it being at launch. It's going to be there.
That's kind of suits them as well. They've done that before. Oh, an issue. What issue?
Oh yeah. So it's to me that tells me it's either going to be fixed really quickly or it's never going to be fixed. And I think it's going to be the latter, unfortunately.
Oh no.
I think it probably will be fixed at some point, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Unfortunately, I think they've got to get the matchmaking sorted out first. Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised. There was a hot fix that came out pretty quick. And
there's another one due as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping with Sony's sort of increased money. I mean, it does come down to money. The fact that Sony are behind it, I think, will give it better support. You won't be waiting anywhere near as long. There's also the chances are that things will get approved an awful lot quicker than Elphonic had with Friday the 13th. And it's a shame. I'm still loving it. I really am loving it. I can't wait to play it again. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's supported. Yeah,
I agree.
I would love to see the jungle stuff's great, but I would love to see some other maps. I'd love to see maybe see something from Alien versus Predator in the sort of snow in the Arctic sort of stuff. Maybe see something
or something
like or maybe see something from Predator 2. I mean, I've been on record at how terrible Predator 2 is as a film, but actually setting-wise, the idea of the concrete jungle of LA would be amazing. It would be amazing to be
totally
playing
different.
this game in a city. I mean, how the mud thing would work, I don't know. Maybe you would use a fire hydrant or something to soak yourself and bring your body temperature down. I don't know.
Maybe there's no mud.
Well, maybe there's no mud, but it's quite a key feature. But there might be some way you could do it. I don't know. But yeah, I hope they're going to add more. I'm sure they'll be adding more aesthetic stuff. They'll be adding more predators and all that sort of stuff. I just hope that they keep adding to it and they regularly add to it. You know, we see that Resident Evil Resistance has got a roadmap and they're pushing all that. I'd like to see a roadmap for this soon. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure we'll see a roadmap. I'm sure there is a roadmap.
Yeah.
I would just like to see what's happening when. Sorry?
They had a roadmap for Friday the 13th, so
indeed.
Hopefully they'll do one for this as well.
And at least they've got the license properly this time.
This certainly seems a safer license than Friday the 13th is. But I have to say, I really, really liked it, and we're definitely going to stream some more of it. So if you are curious, keep an eye out on our Twitch channels, and you'll get the chance to check them out.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else, Gary, on Predator Hunting Grounds?
No, it's great. It just needs more Arnie.
More Arnie. Well, somebody did say on the stream, didn't they? There was a possibility.
I was saying that
in an interview, he did voice work for something.
He did say it was for a Predator video game. So I imagine that there's potentially either Arnie's coming out as some sort of I don't know, maybe it'll be some sort of like mission or something, and he'll be in that, or whether or not he's coming as a playable character at some point.
I did notice it was on YouTube or something like that in one of the videos. I didn't watch it, but it was Arnie playing as the Predator. And I'm pretty sure it was this game, so you never know. That
sounds cool.
Yeah. Another game we got sent from Beam Team Games is it started out as a Telltale game, I believe, and when Telltale fell through, these guys, Sam and I feel as if I should know. I can look it up. They took it on themselves and have self-produced it and all that jazz, and it's now out in console. It's early access on PC and out in console, but it is Stranded Deep, which is. Yeah. You're essentially, well, Colin, you streamed it so you tell us.
Stranded Deep opens. It's a survival game. It opens with you on a sort of private jet. The plane crashes, and your plane basically blows up in the middle of the night, and you wake up inside the plane underwater, have to swim out, get in a life raft, and you have to survive. You're heading to desert islands. You're crafting. You're hunting fish or crabs or whatever. You're trying your best to survive and find a way to escape. Now, in a lot of ways, it's absolutely gorgeous, but it is a brutal world. It's a brutal world.
Yes.
There's hammerhead sharks, there's great whites, there's snakes, there's giant octopuses, there's all sorts of stuff.
Why do it have to be snakes?
Why do it have to be snakes? I had a brilliant fun on my stream last night. You've seen some of the footage of it just now. This is actually right near the end where I very nearly died. So,
Very died. That surely that can't pinpoint a time in your stream last night.
Well,
so that is like every half hour or something.
Coincidentally, I also have permadeath turned on. Now there was a bit of a loophole because I had 2 crashes in the game, and they actually worked out quite well for me because each time the crash happened, I was very close to death, including one time where I was literally dying of poisoning, dying of dehydration, paddling through the ocean while a hammerhead shark kept knocking me off my raft, right? And it was hours. This was like 3 hours into my stream. I'd been playing for 3 hours. I was like, this is it, guys. This is it. This is all because I tried to attack a snake at one point and got bit by it and poisoned and could not heal myself, right? And we're paddling and the heartbeat's going and I'm like, I shouldn't have done this, man. I shouldn't have done this. And I'm like stuck in the middle of the water and the game just blue screened and crashed on me. I was like, oh. And so I brought up the stream again. I'm apologising. Everyone had lost all my viewers. Luckily enough, they all hung around. And I was like, sorry, guys. I said, it crashed. Let's see if the save game's still there. It was still there. And they said, right, the next thing we need to check is whether or not the save game is after I was bit by the snake or before. Because if it's after, we've seen all this before and we're going to watch it again. Mercifully, it was literally just before I got bit by the snake, and I went, maybe I won't go near the snake. So I then spent the next 45 minutes rampaging around the island so I could make a longbow, and I killed not one snake but 2 snakes because I kept thinking this snake's absolutely raging. Turns out there was 2 of them. There was 2 of them there. I had so much fun in the stream. Thank you to everybody that joined me, and I have to say, I think the game's great. It's everything I hoped for. It is a wee bit rough around the edges. It's quite difficult to control. I'm not convinced that the control setup's great. It also, the sort of realism side of things, like you can't carry a lot of stuff. You've got a tiny inventory, and it's quite frustrating at times, but actually I think that's quite realistic. There's no way you couldn't carry 1,000 things. So it's bordering on that. On top of that, you get thirsty, you can die, you get poisoned if you eat too much stuff. There's all the various dangers in there. You also, because it's the Beam team are from Australia, so they know all about the harshness of the Australian sort of sun. You can die of like sunstroke and things like that. Your skin gets sunburnt. You have to craft sort of suntan lotion and all that. But I had a lot of fun and kept climbing the water, going, I'll just go in this water and see what it is. And there's just sharks everywhere. You're just running straight back out of the water. They always said that Jaws was the film that made you afraid of going swimming, right? Everyone said that. This game does that. The worst thing is, though, that what happens in this game is you come running out of the water screaming, losing control of your bladder as you do, and you're running out of there, and then you basically run straight in a big nest of snakes as well. But I'm loving it. I can't wait to stream it again. I think I'll be streaming it tomorrow.
What day did you get to?
I think I'm on day 5. I think I'm
day 5. I think I was day 4, day 3 or 4. I think I got to.
Are you pan-breed? Are you still alive?
Oh, I'm still going. I've been to another island and came back. I'm pretty much just. There's nothing more to add to what you've said. It's exactly as you say. It is rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Not everything's perfect. But it is immensely fun, and it's just nice to go and discover things, and go to a shipwreck as we're seeing here, and you can have a wee peek and look in lockers and see what you can find, and the things you find are starting to allude to what you could possibly do and things. It's really fun, really fun. I didn't know you played it, Gary. How did you get on?
Yeah, I managed to get about 30 minutes, 45 minutes in this afternoon because I knew we were going to talk about it. So I was like, oh, let's see what it's all about. Just like Colin said, it's a bit clunky. Sometimes you're pushing buttons and they're not doing what you think they're doing, and then they do something else, and then you're like, wait, what? I also don't know how to stay alive very well. I'm on day 2, but I'm dehydrated, and I drank a bunch of coconuts and then sharted all my water out there.
That does happen.
So
we've all been there,
I'm
man.
not scared
No
of the
shame.
sharks.
No
I'm
shame
scared
there.
of coconuts. And now I don't know how to hydrate myself because I have no coconuts left in my island, and I can't purify the water, so I'm just going to be thirsty to death.
Need to find yourself a tarpaulin.
Yeah, keep playing, man.
Oh, I've got a tarpaulin. I'm enjoying the crafting. I've managed to make like a fire and a fire pit and a skewer.
There's so much stuff.
There's so much
stuff to make.
It's a wee bit like, oh, I want to do that, but then I run out of rope, so I can't make.
Oh, the lashings. The lashings.
This poor character is just stuck in this wee island. I'm like, oh, you're gonna die, bitch. But I think when I go back, it'll be interesting to play. I kind of wish you could do like co-op online, kind of like Minecraft. So maybe there was like 2 of you surviving the plane crash sort of thing. I think that'd be fun. I find after a while, I tend to get a bit bored, and like I think a low level ADHD kicks in, and I'm like, oh, let's get something else. But it's tempting me back. I want to go. I can see a shipwreck that I've not explored yet, and I'm like, okay, I want to jump down there.
Yeah,
I'm scared to leave my island. And my island is
like a fresh set of pants, by the way. The water is terrifying.
Well, that's
Oh,
Diet Punk saying he can't cope with games with underwater combat. Tomb Raider taught me that danger can come from any direction when you're underwater.
Absolutely can.
It was Sam and Ben.
Coincidentally,
Sam and Ben
Sam
from
and
Beam
Ben.
Teams that sent over the codes for us.
They did. They literally. They not only are they a Beam Team, but they sent us the codes as well, which is really cool. I just think it's clearly a labour of love for them, and yeah, it's a wee bit rough around the edges. But I am so in on this game, and you know, we streamed it last night, and the stream went mental. It went absolutely mental. Just everybody was piling in and asking me, "How's the game? What do you think about it? Is this worth buying?" And at least 3 people in the chat went and bought the game on the stream of the stream as well. And you know, I did say, Gary, there are points when the buttons aren't quite doing what you want to do, and that will get tweaked and with fixes and all that sort of stuff. But it looks glorious. I think, you know, it really does. And
for such a small team, it is really impressive.
Yeah. I love it, and genuinely scary stuff as well. I think we'll see how long it really lasts, but I could see myself sinking a lot of time into this game because I can't wait to see what I can craft and what I can build and all that. I can't wait to actually feel brave enough to actually explore underwater a little bit.
Yeah. It's got that thing as well where you after you've played it for a while, you kind of want to start again. You want to go, I want to do that again, see what I can do differently and what I can do better and more efficiently. Things. So
Paulo,
there's legs in it.
One small mistake from us, and we will have to play it.
Indeed.
I was climbing up a mountain. I was like, I wonder if there's anything up there. And I climbed up this bit of these rocks, and I found bird eggs. I was like, oh, brilliant! And then I looked down. I literally one small error of judgment on the way back down here, and I'm dead. And these eggs weren't even worth it.
See that's when I've played 2 games. I feel like the first game I did something stupid. I think I stood in a sea urchin or something like that, and then went out to sea and died out in sea. But that's when I put on permadeath. And I messaged you, Colin, saying you need to put on permadeath. It's the only way to play it because it gave it that sense of I can't make that wee mistake.
Well, it really did limit how I played the game, and actually I was a wee bit concerned that I was potentially going to be a wee bit too careful, and people in the chat might get bored. No, everyone was like, "What are you doing? Don't do that! Don't do that!"
I mean, to be fair, I hear you nearly get killed by a crab.
I got my ass kicked by a crab. Absolutely. I could
was
not.
it at least holding a knife?
No, I was holding a knife. Unfortunately, humiliatingly enough, I was holding the knife. The crabs are really aggressive.
Excellent. Well,
they're not laughing now. I've got a spear now. They're not laughing anymore.
Oh dear. Listen, stay tuned. I think we'll be talking about Stranded Deep again next podcast.
Absolutely.
Our further streams of it, so keep your eye on our channels. What else have you been playing? I'm going to go first, I think. Do you know, I have been playing not that much. I've been playing Stranded Deep, Predator Hunting Grounds, FIFA 20. I played a wee bit of FIFA 20, and that was the continuation of the Hamburg Hurricanes FIFA 20 tournament, which I got knocked out of the Champions League. I can't remember if that was before the last podcast or not. But everybody that didn't go through in the Champions League went into the Europa League, as you do. And I won my first game. So I got through the quarterfinals and then get beaten extra time in the quarterfinals. And the gutting thing was it was a stupid goal in regular time that made it a draw. So that was gutting.
Glorious failure from the Scotsman again.
It was a nearly man performance. But it was great fun, and it was a great event hosted by Tom Hobbins and the Hamburg Hurricanes. It was a really good thing to do past a couple of weeks for folks, so it was really good. I've also been playing Elite Dangerous on my personal stream, and it was great fun. I'm getting deeper and deeper into it. It's got its nails right in me. It's really fun to play. Kitted out my ship a wee bit more. Hooked up with my brother. He kind of showed me a wee few things. Kind of went hunting for wanted criminals. So it's good.
Ooh.
It's so big that it is that fear thing of what do you do next.
Yeah.
But it's lovely. I streamed it on a Sunday morning, and you know, it was a perfect time. It was a perfect game for a Sunday morning. It's just a nice pace. You can do what you want. You can just trade if you want, and that's all you can do. And it's great because you're just chatting and flying around space. It's quite cool for a Sunday morning. Might do that again this Sunday.
It was great. I tuned in. It was quite a nice chilled Sunday morning stream. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
It's also too strenuous that you can go turnip picking as well.
Well, that's the thing. Animal Crossing as well is still on the go, and on Gary Hogg-Simmons' advice, I sunk all my 400,000 bells I sunk into turnips this week. And
have you still got them all?
I've still got them. I've got 2 days. Well,
2 days.
2 days left.
2 days.
And at the moment, I'm making a glorious loss.
How much did you buy them for?
103 they were.
Oh, mine's were 163 today. Sarah.
See if I got my money back now, I'd be happy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you know what my prices are tomorrow.
This game sounds really exciting, by the way.
Man, listen, I've sunk all my money into turnips, 400,000 bells, and I've got Tom Nook breathing down my neck. Man, he's not happy. that man doesn't like to wait for his money.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing is great. Do you know, I was saying to a friend of the podcast, MJ, that my island is rubbish because I've not done anything. All I've done is kind of sell fruit and chop wood. So I think I'm going to have to take a wee bit of time to kind of start making my island look like something as opposed to just what it was and with our houses on it. So again, that might be another nice wee relaxed stream to actually do a few tasks. I was saying that if I spend a stream on it, then it might give me a few hours to actually sit down and do something with it. But it's great. It's so addictive. It is chores the game, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Gary, you've been playing Animal Crossing as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I tend to put in like a wee half hour a day at least.
Get your chores done.
Was it yesterday? I ended up I sat down. I was like, I'm just gonna go look for fossils, and then an hour and a half later, I was like, done. And I think I don't even. What did I do?
See,
my
orchard.
I did my orchard. I got because I had to plant all my trees out with it and then let them grow and then dig them up and put them back in. So, but then
let's be clear here, Colin. Gary
Hogg-Simmons
has got like districts on his island.
Yes,
he's got a retail district, and
so there's the housing district, and then you go up to the left, and it's the market district, and then to the south is the Eat Old World district, and then I have my own plateau where no one goes but me. My head down on the ground, I am up in the mountains. An outdoor sauna and stuff. It's pure cool.
Oh, excellent! I mean, it seems like there's no end to the items that you can get in this game.
MJ has a mad scientist laboratory in our basement.
Well, that's pretty cool. But do you know that a guy I follow on Twitter, Gary Witter, who is one of the writers of Rogue One, is a huge Animal Crossing guy, and he streams it every morning. He's built a studio in his basement, and he's now hosting a late night talk show, which he streams.
It's so that's smart. I like that.
Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But I mean, this is all your fault, Gary Hogg, that I'm in this. You got me into this.
Yeah, it was me. People are
going straight in.
Instead of using Zoom and stuff, they're having like nights out in Animal Crossing, meeting up and having parties and stuff.
Brilliant.
And,
brilliant.
It's great.
What else you been playing, Gary?
Oh, right, where will I start?
I thought we'd get these out of the way.
I know,
bloody hell.
We'll know how long
I've not got a lot to say, don't worry. I've been dipping in and out of Resident Evil Resistance still, making my way up the levels. It's great. We're waiting on the new Mastermind dropping, Nikolai. I think we're getting Nemesis as his super.
Oh,
God.
The rumour is there's 2 different forms of Nemesis depending on which stage of the game you're in, so that could be quite interesting if that's how that plays out. But no, lots of fun. I've made a Twitch friend who plays Resistance, so we've been playing online a lot.
Whoa! Wait a minute! You're making other friends.
Yeah, I know.
Hang on, Colin's online playing Predator with people, and you're away playing other things with other people. What's going on here? Am I getting phased out?
Well, none of you two play Resident Evil Resistance. So But this guy's number one in Europe is Joe.
Oh my.
So yeah, playing with the pros here. And I'm a great Martin Sanger.
Hanging on to his coattails.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got so Daymare 1998. Daymare started as a Resident Evil 2 remake, and then Capcom saw it and were like, "Hey, wait a minute, this looks good. We're doing it." So they had to cancel their fan remake, and they created their own game, Daymare 1998, and it's kind of like their take on the horror games of the 90s. It's been in the PC for about 6 months, maybe even a year, and it's been ported to the PlayStation, and it is a heaping pile of dung.
Oh my.
Disappointingly, and not because the game isn't good. The game doesn't work on consoles. So you collect files in the game. The files don't work; they're blank. You can't read them.
Oh man.
There's the aiming stops working. The running doesn't work sometimes, and people I know who've bought it have requested a refund from Sony because it's that unplayable. And it's a shame because it's from a little studio and it's a passion project, and you're like, and you want them to do well, but it's not been a good port. I'm holding out and hoping it gets patched. There was somebody online in their forum, and they put, when I run, the game crashes, and the devs commented back, "Oh, we're looking into this. If you just walk for the time being." But the point of the game is you're running down a street away from the zombies, so you can't really just walk away. I couldn't believe it if you just walk through the zombie.
Oh dear.
So I'll keep you updated if that gets any better. The Big in Japan sale's on just now, which is when I lose most of my money. And I got the Okami HD remaster, which is a PS2 game. It's like Zelda, where you play a sun god of Japan. If you're into kind of open world mythological games with a cool art style, go for that. Everyone's heard of Okami. I finished Doom Eternal on stream. On easy mode. How Colin got through that
Easy
normal.
mode.
Easy, I could barely cope with it. Colin, you saw me try playing easy, and I was like,
It's so hard at points.
Oh,
it's
so normal. Like the idea of normal gives me palpitations. I'm looking forward to seeing where the series goes. So hopefully there'll be another one in the pipework.
It's very good, isn't it? It's very
excellent, very good. Strange Brigade, which is a kind of online co-op 1940s adventure game. I was playing that with Kevin. It's very tongue-in-cheek. So, the dashing hero breaks down the door, and like mummies come alive and stuff. So that's worth a game. And today, brand new out, Streets of Rage 4.
Oh,
yes,
glorious. I've only did the first 2 stages. It controls really well, but it's just as tough as the originals in the Sega Mega Drive. The art style's lovely, the story's pretty good, and there's lots of wee nods to films with character names and locations, and it's full of pop culture references, and it's great. It's dead responsive. I think any Streets of Rage fan will love it. I can't wait to go back and play more of it, and you can play 4-player co-op online, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one that could be streamable, and if you're a PS Plus member, you're getting £2 off it just now.
You didn't. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that, Gary.
So it's $17.99 if you get PS Plus, and so far it's been worth every penny. But
somewhere my wife just facepalmed.
I bet more Overwatch with Diet Punk, Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer.
And that's loads of fun. So I'll be playing more of that. He was giving us a tutorial last Friday on Friendly Friday. He's very, very wise when it comes to Overwatch. So yeah, lots of gaming goodness.
Fantastic. A lot of games, Gary Hogg.
I know.
Very
makes me
good.
think I didn't play many. I'm like, I did.
Colin Little, you've also been playing a few games, as we've said. You've been playing Predator and Stranded Deep. What else have you been playing? What glorious pinnacles of gaming did you stream the other night?
So, well, I'm going to come to that in a minute because Gary was talking about dodgy ports. Apart from that, I've just been streaming. I've been streaming a few things. So I was streaming L.A. Noire. You can check out my streams. I'll be streaming more of that. I like L.A. Noire. I covered it last time. Batman Arkham City. I might be at the end of the road with Arkham City. I'm just not been enjoying it at all. It's been an absolute slog. Story's great. I'm playing it on hard mode, and it is insanely difficult and not fun. I like a challenge. I like a hard game. I just hard mode feels really broken on it. But
you're Batman.
It's you're Batman, but you don't feel like Batman at all. Literally, like 3 punches from like the normal hoods, and you're out. You're out. It's a game that encourages you to have these big free flowing fights with like 40 guys at a time, but it's literally unmanageable.
Oh,
So
man.
it's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know quite what's on it, and I was like, oh, maybe just turn the difficulty down. I don't want to. I would want to play it on, but I don't know. I'll come back to it possibly at some point. But I've just lost interest in it. Minecraft. Been playing a lot of Minecraft. Really enjoying that. Although Stranded Deep's kind of scratching that itch at the moment,
Ooh, I
so
knew it.
we'll
I
see.
knew it.
I've been playing. I've been slowly. I'm at a Paulo pace. I'm working my way through Final Fantasy VII remake. It's lovely. It's really good. It's really good. It's not quite got its claws into me yet. Every time I play it, I play for a few hours at a time, and I'm like, this is really good. I'm really liking this, but it's just not quite got that sort of hook where I'm like desperate to play it yet. But I kind of feel I got my first summon, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So that might just be the little thing I need. And the other game I streamed the other night, and what a night I had! Oh my god, I was streaming Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, or Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Talk about bad ports.
How did that go?
Disaster. I love that game, but oh my god, it's the laziest port I've seen in a while. I mean, you cannot shoot. You cannot hit people. The aiming is appalling. You fire, there's like, you stand in front of a guy and you fire like 1,000,000 times and you miss him with every shot, and it's no wonder stormtroopers can't hit anything, honestly.
Do you know, I was grabbing some of your stream from this to use tonight. Obviously it's not went through, but at one point I did see you dancing about some guy's head, just trying to get the target on, but it just wasn't quite landed.
It's so infuriating, and you know, I get frustrated, right? People will be laughing in the chat about the point of that. And
Call it rage.
I do get raging, and I do quite often say that a game's broken when it isn't. This one feels broken, and I had people in the chat. Brian 2208 was in the chat saying broken, and then Paulo, who's usually the calmer member of the group. Me and Gary can both fly off into rages at certain things. Paulo's the more serene one. He's usually the more balanced one, and within seconds, Brian had talked about how broken the game was. I talked about how frustrated I was, and Paulo went, aye, just agreed with me. And it was almost as though it was like that moment in Brew, vindication! It's like, if Paulo says it's broken, then it is broken.
Oh, do you know, it's so sad because it was one of my favourite games as a youngster, and when we got the codes, it was alright, and it was a walk down. I was
so excited.
Yeah, but it's just, as you say, the port is just, it's lazy. I think that's my main problem with it, is it's lazy. I went on, when we got the codes, I kind of went on about how I was disappointed it wasn't a remaster and it was just a port. But watching you play it, that's me worked out. It's the laziness of just throwing it over, basically.
It's just even in the menus, the textures seem really low.
Yeah.
The load screen's the worst. The load screen's like a super low res image that comes up. You're just like, oh, it just looks horrible. And then the controls just don't work. And you know, this was a game that was designed for mouse and keyboard, so I take that with a pinch of salt. But it just doesn't work. It's also got that feeling. It's got that feeling that games of a certain era did, where you feel like you're on ice when you move. You feel like you're floating. You're not walking. And that never occurred to me when we played it, because that's what games were. But I just feel if you're going to bring a game back nowadays, it is going to be compared with modern games.
That's the thing, you know, as you say, it was done for mouse and keyboard, and it's not great in a controller. But that would be the point of bringing it back, is, well, let's get this working on a controller. Do you know what I mean?
It's just, and you know, I persevered with it, not on stream, because I couldn't face having to grin and bear it. I swore as much as I required. I swore a good amount in the stream, to be honest, but I battled my way through the level, and I finally got the lightsaber, and I thought, this will be the moment. I've got the lightsaber now. This will be the moment where I either decide to stream any more of it or not. Because part of the issue as well is the fact that the first few levels of that game are incredibly dull.
Yeah.
And then once you get the lightsaber, it becomes a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
But you know what? I played with a lightsaber, and it's rubbish.
Oh.
It's really Asper. They just couldn't be bothered, clearly, for whatever reason, and that's really saddens me because I was so looking forward to it. And of course, they've redone Jedi Academy. I'm not even going to bother.
I'm frightened to.
Actually, if they gave us codes, I probably wouldn't even play it.
Oh.
and it's shocking too because we got codes for that game. So this shows you the entitlement, right? We got that game for free, and it still doesn't feel worth playing.
Yeah. Well, it just shows us our opinions cannot be bought.
Exactly. So
you'll be
really
glad to know there's a physical release of it coming out.
Oh, good. I need another coaster.
Go buy it. Anything else you're playing, Mr. Little, or was that the top of the iceberg?
Probably. I've been playing so much, but yeah, that's all I can think of the top of my head.
Very good, very good. Let's turn to the listeners and see what they were playing, shall we? James Keenan was in touch. Says PlayStation Now had 25% off. He went for that and had a wee go at the Golf Club 2. Oh, that's a good wee game. I should give you a round of that, Jamesy. He's really enjoying Control as well, also playing Uncharted and Warzone. Jamie Simpson got in touch saying, my PS4 has been clogging up dust in the gaming sense, so I dusted it off and have gone back to Days Gone. Great game, they've really patched it up, but I never had problems before, to be honest. Like yourself, Gary. Also playing Astral Chain, birthday present from my wife. Not far into it, but it's good.
Very good.
Stay well, fellas. Thanks, Jamie. Likewise.
Thank you, Jamie.
Are you I mean, I know we say it all the time, but are you sure Gary Hogg-Simmons and Jamie Simpson aren't the same person playing Days Gone and Astral Chain?
Well, I don't know. He didn't mention anything about Resident Evil Resistance in that paragraph.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
And even if it was Gary, he wouldn't be able to resist mentioning it. That's true. Gavin Little, Mr. Producer. He's been playing and loving Predator Hunting Grounds, yes. But I've also recently picked up Gang Beasts, which is a great laugh. He got Stranded Deep as well, but I'm only on day 2 and I'm already terrified of the ocean. Am I not mistaken, Gavin Little, that's 3 games that we streamed that you have went and bought? Are we selling games now?
It is. We are essentially selling games.
Oh my!
Gavin bought Gang Beasts after our last stream of Gang Beasts, which was a lot of fun, and he bought it and he was desperate to play. So the night that we had technical difficulties, Richard Branson turned the internet off and our stream went down, and the stream came back up. We were having all sorts of problems, and me and Gavin then decided to have a little game of Gang Beasts afterwards, and Richard Branson turned the internet off again.
Oh, what?
Oh.
So we didn't get an awful lot of play, but we had a bit of a laugh while we did play.
Excellent. Joe Keenan as well has been in touch, saying he's playing loads of FIFA. I can only imagine how much FIFA's happening in the Keenan household. And COD Online, plus trying different games in the PS Now, which are probably not worth mentioning. PS Now was only £30 for the year. That's quite good.
That's good.
Although there was a very easy, shiny plat for gem smashers. Very good. Nick O'Neill was in touch. I think this was maybe just at the tail end for last episode, so it's probably 2 weeks late, but he's been getting into Control on PS Now. It reminds me of Inside in a lot of ways, especially the atmosphere. Don't know Inside at all. Was also playing the new Ori, but has been plagued with technical issues, which has been very off-putting. That's a shame. Peter Riley was in touch. He's saying he's been playing Gears Tactics on PC and having a blast. That's just out. Little Debs 09 says Minecraft.
That's true.
And Jay Rainey, friend of the podcast, has been saying he's playing loads of Dragon Quest XI, fantastic old school JRPG, although a tad easy. The story has me hooked. Very good. Thanks so much for getting in touch, everybody. We love people getting in touch, whether it's to tell us what you've been playing, what you're thinking in the news, basically anything at all. And here's how you can do it.
We'd love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
Yes, indeed. So they've got in touch, and please do likewise get in touch yourselves. Also, you can follow the channel if you so wish. Click that wee heart button up in the corner, and if you're feeling really generous, give us a wee subscription. That will be supporting the channel to continue and basically keep us going. we're all self-employed. Well, we're self-employed and someone who else is homebound at the moment. So we're basically just finding ways to work and different things like that. And if you support the channel, it means we can do more, basically. So if you can spare it, chuck it our way. New releases, gentlemen. I've got too many buttons to press here. What have we got? We've got 30th of April, The Book of Demons on PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Fairy Nights on Nintendo Switch. Flatland Volume 1 on Switch. Landlord's Super on PC. Levelhead on Xbox One, PC, Nintendo Switch, Android and iOS. Lumberjack's Dynasty on PC. Ministry of Broadcast on Switch. Puzzle Pelago on PC. SNK Gals Fighters on Switch. Street Rage 4 on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PC. Comes with the Gary Hogg-Simmons seal of approval. And Train Station Renovation on PC. On the 1st of May we have Arcade Spirits on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, and Change, a Homeless Survival Guide on PC. 5th of May, Shop Titans on PC and Wintermoor Tactics Club on PC. 6th of May, Meditation Fun. There's an oxymoron on Android and iOS. And 7th of May, Be a Walker, PC, Android and iOS. Drift 21 on PC. Fledgling Heroes on Nintendo Switch. Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl on Switch and PC.
Snoochie Boochies.
Snoochie Boochies, baby. Lonely Mountains Downhill, Nintendo Switch. Monochrome World, Nintendo Switch and PC. Sonic at the Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020, Android and iOS, and that's the only way you're going to see the Olympics this year. Spirit of the North, Nintendo Switch and PC. On the 8th of May, John Wick Hex on PS4. Now, I think that's already been out on PC. I think my brother plays that. That's essentially a John Wick's strategy game.
Okay.
Oh.
Stone on Nintendo Switch. 13th of May, you've got Deep Rock Galactic, Xbox One and PC. And finally on 14th of May, you have Ion Fury on PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Nimbatus, the Space Drone Constructor on PC, Linus and Macs. And Oddworld Munches Odyssey on Nintendo Switch. And that's all your new releases, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful. What's been happening in the chat, Mr. Little? Anything exciting?
So Bell4717 has said Paulo pace. That's a new measurement of gameplay right there.
I will take that.
Paulo pace. That's what we could describe the PS Plus games this month as, being Paulo pace.
Yes, exactly.
PS Plus went Paulo pace. That's actually, Paulo pace is quite hard to say, actually. Gavin Olaf has had a dawning realization. He's just went, oh God, you're right. This is Paulo's observation that basically we streamed 3 games and Gav bought them all. So
excellent.
He says, you're right. He says, the Nearly Men are guiding me through lockdown. Well, we're delighted to do so, Gavin.
That's what we're here for, man. That's what you put your money for, Gavin Olaf.
Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer. Well, gentlemen, I think that about wraps us up today. Thank you for your time. It was nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
We were plagued with technical issues tonight, but I think we managed to get through it, and it was lovely to hear your voices and see your faces.
Indeed. Well, you say hear our voices. We've been streaming that much. You've heard our voices.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
You.
Tonight's episode of the podcast was produced by Colin_NM, John Rocks 21, Paul Kaczynski, Jossers 1978,
Mr. Producer,
Jobrias, Diet
Mr.
Punk,
Producer,
Nat Pacino, Gavin Olaf. Thank you so much. If you subscribe to the channel, then you can become an executive producer of the podcast. You instantly support us and keep us going, basically. The next episode is live here on twitch.tv/TheNearlyMen on 8 p.m. on 14th of May. The 14th of May, can you believe that? 14th of May.
Running away.
That is unreal. But for now, we're going to leave you, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Please follow the channel, stay tuned for all the streams. Follow Colin Little as well. He's twitch.tv/Colin_NM. And follow Gary Hogg-Simmons as well. He's twitch.tv/Blunderboy87. Follow myself, I'm /Paul Kaczynski. But for now, Colin, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gary, say bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.